And welcome back to yet another Buffalo Bills pregame, a season full of firsts. First Buffalo Bills pregame show following a wild card division win. What a feeling it is being a Bills fan. Jared, let's start with you. What are your feelings after that game?
It was a stressful game. I don't know about the rest of you guys. I want to say that I was overcome with joy and an emotion I haven't felt since in my entire life, going this far into the playoffs.
Sean, what about you?
I wasn't able to go to the game, unfortunately, so that was bittersweet. But it's been a long time coming. I've been a season ticket holder for like 15, 16 years, and it was just jumping up and down. I'm not at the point where I'm crying yet, so I don't know. I think that might need like an AFC championship at least. But it's a good step, and it's tremendous because I honestly think we found our franchise quarterback. So,
how about you, Dan? Any tears there in the stadium?
Not for me personally. I think I'll have to go off with what Sean said on I think I might have taken an AFC championship. But yeah, no, definitely. It's a crazy feeling. It's just weird also because kind of like what Jared said, it's a different position being a Bills fan. Bills fans, I mean, the last two times I've seen them be in the playoffs, it was, we're just happy to be here. Now let's see what we can do. This time it was more of, okay, we need to win this game. Let's go. It would have been a big disappointment if they would have lost for sure. But it's weird being one of the premier teams in the league and it's gonna be a great game Saturday night.
I was talking to Jared before. I'm sorry to cut you off, but I was talking to Jared before the game, and we were talking about the longest win streaks in Buffalo Bills history, which is 8 games. This last game makes 7 in a row for this season. So we're approaching unprecedented waters for the Bills as a franchise. And my question to Jared was, at what point are we due for a loss? Are we due for a bad game? And I was thinking maybe in the game after the wild card, but I think really we might have overcome our bad game. There were drops. There were bad calls against us from the refs. There was Daboll being over-reliant on Josh Allen, carrying the team for the middle chunk of the game. There were a lot of elements that just didn't exist in any other game. They all came together, and we still managed to come out with the win. So I was very impressed that we were able to overcome some obstacles, and you can't help but feel that, I don't know, if we were over to win that game, there's not many circumstances that we can't dig ourselves out of. Looking at the offense, Dan, will come to you. The passing game did struggle a little bit. I did mention some drops. What do you think maybe changed up different for this game?
I mean, I think for this game, it's going to be important. I actually just checked right before we started. I checked the weather, what it's supposed to be like for the weekend, and there does look like some snow, some precipitation that looks like there could be possible. So I think it's going to be important to get the run game going. Obviously, we're not going to have Zach Moss this weekend, but I think this is a great chance for Antonio Williams. I think he showed a decent amount in the game against the Dolphins. And Singletary's got to step up. But I don't know. I think this could be one of those games where Cole Beasley, has a lot of catches, a lot of, dink and dunk kind of plays down the field. I think that might be what you were going to see against the Ravens.
Jared, to Zach Moss, the wide receivers do seem a little banged up. Do you see one of those, the receiver injuries, going to be more important to the receiving core or the running back core?
Well, it seems like on the receiving end, if somebody goes out, we can almost plug in another one of our guys and we're just fine. I mean, think about what happened during the Colts game. John Brown had, I believe, no catches, only 4 targets. So he basically was a non-factor in the entire game. He was just out there basically as a body. Cole Beasley, though, it's really hard to say that about him. I got to say, he was playing, it seemed like his leg was falling off during the game and he was still playing. I went back and I looked at the Ravens game from last year, and I noticed that Devin Singletary had some pretty good runs against the Ravens. So maybe the fact that Moss is out will give him an opportunity to step back up to the plate again. They were running Moss a lot more than Singletary anyway. Maybe he's better than we think he is. I don't know. I would love to see Antonio Williams, but something tells me he's going to be inactive and they're going to move Yeldon up. That's my prediction. I hope I'm wrong.
All right, looking at the other side of the ball, the Ravens like to run heavy sets. The Bills have struggled against teams with strong running games. The Ravens come at you, obviously, not just from the running back position, but also a quarterback who is as capable a runner as anyone in the league. Sean, what do you see the Bills doing to try to contain a very potent running attack from the Baltimore Ravens?
Yeah, so last time they faced them, they did a pretty good job. But I think when you start to do that, then you start to worry about the run game, which we have not fared well against. They have a three-headed monster at running back. And so we've really struggled against that. And obviously also the tight ends, they have good tight ends. And, they have one of the best front fours really in football. And Josh a lot last week, a lot. And that's something we haven't seen. I think a big portion is that as they kind of force them to they played zone, so they forced them to go everything underneath. And Josh had no answers, and they wanted to try and run the ball, and just wasn't working. I don't think Josh really struggled. I think he struggled in the rain and everything, but honestly, I think snow will be fine for him. Get those short passes with Cole Beasley hooked up. He's got to get rid of the ball fast. That front four is brutal. They don't have the best safeties. Their secondary is decent, like I said, but the safeties are not the best. So maybe Stefon Diggs can take advantage of that. But I totally agree. I forget who said it, but Cole Beasley definitely going to have a big game. Our third or fourth receiver, Gabriel Davis, something like that, is going to have to step up again. So yeah.
All right, so in a sentence or two, what's your key to the game then? What you boil it down, what are the keys for the Bills to win?
They need to get back to what they were doing really well before. It was totally anomaly that we're trying to do all those design quarterback runs. Like, what are you doing? Like, you have an almost MVP quarterback throwing the ball all year. I think trying to throw the ball more. I guess to that would be my key. And if I were to shorten it, have a short answer. Throw the ball, short passes, really take advantage of that. And then once you get there, try and get Stefon Diggs over for a couple or John Brown for one. So,
Dan, keys of the game from you?
I think I'm going to have to go with stop Lamar. I think it's as simple as that. If you allow Lamar to get running and get into the open field, he's unstoppable. And and he can connect, especially, with, like Sean said, with the tight ends. He's been really good with them. And then with the run game, I think if you have the run game going and Lamar is doing well, I don't think it's really tough to keep up with. So I'm going to say stop Lamar.
All right, Jared, keys of the game for you.
I think I'm just going to go with what I said last week. I think it applies to every single week. The key to the game is getting ahead early, getting us into a point where we are relying on them passing more and running less.
And I think getting Lamar frustrated early in the game helps, especially with his playoff history. Get into his head quickly. I think that only bodes well. And that kind of comes up with the point with sportsmanship that we'll bring up in a minute. But Jared, do you have the Bills winning this game then?
Well, I like how that's a leading question. Do you have them winning, not what's your score? But yes, I do. I have the Bills winning the divisional game and going on to the AFC Championship game, 29-24.
All right. Dan?
This is tough. This is tough. I rarely ever pick the Bills to lose. These are just two really good teams, two of the hottest teams in the league, really. And, it's crazy that we messed up with them like that. And that Cleveland knocked off Pittsburgh. I think we obviously we would have had a much better shot against the Steelers. But I think I'm going to go 24-19 Ravens on this one.
Ooh. All right, John.
Man, this is a really tough one. Okay, just a couple things. I think you were showing us a stat, Jared, that was saying that, like, the Ravens really don't allow a lot of points. And the Bills are one of the highest scoring teams in the league all year. I think they're like number 2, right? At like 31 points a game. And then what the Ravens were, usually getting in like the 19 points per game. So you think that honestly probably bodes out well for the Bills, in my opinion. I think the Bills can get mid-20s, 26-20 is what I'm hoping. I'm hoping for a shootout, though, because I think that bodes well. Because I think this Ravens defense is really good, and I think they might try and play a little keep away. But if we can play a shootout, I think we have the upper hand there, especially since we're at home.
So your score?
Oh, yeah, 26-20.
All right, well, I think the Bills can score against good defenses. I have the Bills winning 34-23. Yes, go Bills. One quick subject before we go. A sportsmanship issue with Lamar Jackson. Immediately after the wild card game, he runs out the field without even glancing at the other team. Is this an issue with anyone? Jared, we'll start with you.
It was for me, and this was way before, we even knew we were playing them. When he just, first they stomped on the logo. Now, I guess that happened a year ago in the playoff game, so, okay, I guess that makes them even. But, the game ends, and he just looks at his team, and he tries to wave them off the field. Let's not shake any hands at all. Let's just go straight to the locker room. I really hope that the Bills have some heart, watch that footage of him doing that, and bring that extra motivation to the game. Or at least just copy my point of view on this one so they have it. I don't know.
Dan, Sean, either you have strong feelings on Lamar's sportsmanship?
Absolutely. As being a coach, I coach youth, strength and conditioning, football players, young football players. I think it's extremely important, especially for a leader, to be able to do that, especially when you won. I mean, how can you do that? You want to be a good role model to people in the league. I think one of the games earlier was on Nickelodeon, and be an adult, be a leader, and do that. Dan.
Personally, I'm not looking too much into it. I mean, players talk trash all the time. Most of the stuff you don't hear. I mean, I imagine it's worse. So, that's been going on for a while. Jared, like you said, the Titans did do that to the Ravens. That was the whole story. And I think they were talking all game. So, I mean, obviously there's no sportsmanship. That's definitely not there. But, I mean, it's the NFL. They get paid. I'm not too worried about it.
What about you, Randy? What's your thought?
As a policy, I hate trading up in the draft. I hated that the Bills traded up to get Allen. I felt that we could have gotten Lamar Jackson, who at least last season looked like the better option, and that we wouldn't have to have traded up for. So it really kind of irked me for a long time that, I don't know, that we didn't have Jackson, and we gave up draft capital, ended up with Allen when we could have gotten a better quarterback later on in the draft. But as the season rolled out and these kind of situations add up, you know what? I'm really happy that we are where we are. So I don't know if that answers the question. And as a quick personal aside, I never thought I'd say this my entire life, kind of along the lines of sportsmanship, but hey, kudos to Bill Belichick for doing the right thing, huh? Who would have thought? All right, that finishes up Buffalo's Bills pregame. We will be back next week.
Either guys, Barstool fun. So yeah, Barstool fun. I guess it's backward. I mean, you can kind of see it. But it is built different. I think I know Josh Allen wore this shirt walking in the stadium one time. I didn't get it because of that. I got it before I saw him. I mean, Barstool Fun just really means a lot to me. And just Dave Portnoy stepping up. I used to hate the guy because he's a big Boston fan. But he came to Bill's tailgate, I think, a couple years ago and really supported us. And he's doing – I mean, I think they raised over $20 million so far, maybe even the $21 million at this point. And it just keeps going up and up. And just – I don't know if you've seen it, but on Instagram, he just puts up stories of him calling small business owners all over the country and supporting them, giving them money, paying their rent Support it.
AFC Championship preview or for a recap of the season, depending if Dan has his way.